Hey, Mr. Mayfield here. I'll be talking to you today about how to use a ruler to measure length, okay? A couple pointers with the ruler. First off, if you look here at this ruler, it goes from 1 inch to all the way to 12 inches here. That's not the side we're going to use because in science we use metric units. So if you flip the ruler over, you will see it goes from 0 all the way to about 30.5 centimeters roughly, depending on which ruler you happen to be using. The big spaces up here that are numbered are centimeters, and the little tiny markings are millimeters. And between each centimeter are 10 millimeters. You also notice it has a medium-sized mark right there. That is the half marker. In other words, that's half of a centimeter or 5 millimeters. So, common mistake some people make is they don't look at the end of the ruler. This ruler right here starts at 0. So you can measure the length of something by putting it right up against the edge like that. But this other ruler that I have is a little bit different. If you look at this one, does everybody see the little tiny space at the end right there? You have to be mindful of this. What some students will do is they'll take the paper clip and put it like that and measure it. Well, it's going to be a little bit off because it's actually not counting all of it. If you look closely, what you have to do is line it up with the 0 marker. Again, sometimes the 0 marker is at the end of the ruler, like on this one here, and then sometimes it has a little extra space right here that you have to ignore. Same thing at the end. Make sure that the end 30 is at the marker right here, not at the end of the ruler. So you have to pay attention to where the markers are. That said, if we measure this right here, we're going to line it up like that. Then we look over. Oops, camera fell down. Sorry about that. Then we look over at this end, and what we have is 3.2 centimeters. So we would record that on our paper, 3.2 centimeters. Another type of problem right here. On this one, we have a paper ruler, and it's the object, the paper clip is taped to it here. It's starting at 4 centimeters. So here we can't count all of this space because it's, this is not the object over here. So a couple things. We can take the whole distance from 0 to the end of the paper clip, which happens to be 6.8 centimeters. And then we can subtract out 4 centimeters here. Or, what's easier in this case, since it's right up against the 4, we could just count from there. There's 1 centimeter, 2 centimeters, and then we count the little marks, which are the millimeters, and there's 8 of them, so that would be 2.8 centimeters. Both ways you come up with the same answer, though. Sometimes you have to use a ruler to measure something that's larger, like this tabletop over here. It asks you to do that. Let me position the camera a little better. Alright, so I have 2 rulers here. What I would do in this case is I'd come over to the end here, and I would look for 0, line it up with the end of the table, and I'd measure out 30 centimeters. Okay, so right here I have 30 centimeters. Now what you could do is you could make a little mark on the table, or you can just take your second ruler if you don't want to mark on it and line up the 0 marker with the 30 centimeter marker. Okay. And now I have a second ruler that's going to go to 30, but really this is not 30. This is 30 from the 30 marker. So we're adding 30 centimeters to 30 more centimeters. Now this mark over here is 60. I'll take this ruler and line it up with this one. And now the 30 marker over here is now 90 centimeters. And you continue doing this. And basically what you're doing is you're doing several measurements and then adding them together. Okay? You could do the same thing with a meter stick. If you wanted to measure the length across the room, you could take 1 meter stick, mark it, and move it over. And each time you add it, you have to just record your measurement and then add it all together at the end. All right, so that's some pointers on how to measure length.